Thank you very much once again. Let me welcome you back to this channel. Ensure that you are hitting the subscription button and ensure that you are sharing to those who are concerned. As we are about to write the final examination, bear in mind that this is the revision that we have done in term 1, and then it's going to be important now, grade 10s, in you writing the final paper 1 revision that you are going to write in November final examination. And then we are talking about the atmosphere. We have made things simple and easier for you, and we are saying good luck to you on becoming the best member. Anytime we are going now to go to well. And then here we are talking about the composition and the structures of the atmosphere. Remember that the word atmosphere, of which we will later see, it is made out of. So we are going to look made out of, define the layer of air. Depends. As I've said that we've got oxygen, we've got carbon dioxide, and the atmosphere. And then 1.2, we can be asked the question to say, why is the atmosphere so important? And then that question can be asked for 10 marks. And then you need to list atmosphere is important and of the earth ball, it must not be too hot or too, it shields us from harm. So we are saying that you cannot there because of the sun would have a direct. And then number 4, we talk on and the moisture. So we are saying that for us to have the rain, it is because of the atmosphere needed for life. And this is the carbon dioxide, and that it can be for 10 marks. 1.3, and the atmosphere. So we've got to understand, said that it says the cause of gases. And on the same they can find on the atmosphere and the weight variable, sometimes they are more is than argon, water gases. And then we are having gases are dust. And then number 4, we've got the sulfur dioxide and the methane by the people, and that the earth and it represents the types of gases. And we are saying that nitrogen is dominant because of it is 78%, and followed by oxygen, which is 21%, and the other gases, which is 1% now. All right. The structure now of this atmosphere. What is the structures of the atmosphere? Remember that atmosphere consists of the what? Of the thermosphere. And with thermosphere, it talks us about the temperature. It is very high, and it is above 90 kilometer in the top. And then in the 90-kilometer range, we've got the mesosphere, which is above now the stratosphere. So we are saying that in 50 kilometers, in terms of the height, we've got what we the layer, which is called the stratopause of the stratosphere. Later, we've got the tropopause, and then underneath, we are having the troposphere. So we need to understand this concept. Then we will go to 1.5. We are having the ozone layer. So we must understand from the concept, what is the ozone layer? And then we are saying ozone layer is a gas which forms a layer on the stratosphere, and it absorbs the ultraviolet radiation. Then that one, it is the correct answer. It says, how can the ozone depletion be reduced? The weight depletion, how can it perish? And then to limit the traveling of cars, the government authority must make a plan. And then number 2, we are saying that to avoid pesticides and then let us understand that the causes of the ozone depletion, it is caused by the chemicals, and these CFS, which in the decaying or the causes of the ozone depletion. If we are moving on, we are to see that we must discuss the effect now. It is that the skin cancer can arise to people because of there is no protective layer. It is damaged, and there will be a eye cataract. And then we are saying that the photosynthesis process, it is disturbed because of high temperature. They reach the blood, which may lead to the food instead. And moving on again, we are to see that here we are talking about a heating of the atmosphere. And then in this process, it is associated with the heating of the atmosphere. All right. And then when we are moving on again, we are to see that 100% now of the heating of the atmosphere, it is coming directly from the sun. It is the atmosphere. And then we are saying that 23%, only 23%, it is absorbed by about 19% the water vapor and other dust particles, and 52% of it it goes, and 46 it absorbed by the earth surface. So the earth surface, they receive 46%, and then it is the other one, it is absorbed by the ozone layer. And then what happens is that directly from the earth, the 6% it is refracted by the earth's surface going up, and then we are saying that it's reflected to the atmosphere, and 17% is reflected by the clouds. That is what we are saying. And then we are saying not all isolations. What are isolation? These are, it is absorbed by the earth's surface, not all. Some of it, they are absorbed, they are taken up, the others, they are scattered, sent to all directions, and then the other ones, they are reflected in the ozone layer. Right. And then if ever we are moving on again, we've got to understand the word isolation in this instinct. We are saying that these are incoming solar radiation rays entering the atmosphere from the sun. Number two, the sun's rays strike a surface and are redirected by 180 degrees back, directed randomly into the atmosphere. The other one, absorption, which is the heat is taken up by the gases and water vapor. And then we have radiation, the earth, and then we are having the conduction. This is the lowest parts of the atmosphere are warmed because of they are in contact with the warm earth. And then lastly, we have the convection, which we are saying is heated air rises. The heat is transferred higher into the atmosphere. So those are the concepts we need to also understand these concepts. All right. We have some other important of work 2.2 now. And then here we are going to discuss what are the factors that affects temperature. So one said that latitude, it is affecting now the temperature. And what is the latitude? The definition, we are saying that latitude is a measurement of the distance in degrees, north or south of the equator. You get your 2 marks. Why is the poles? These are north poles and south poles. So we are saying, why is it hotter on the equator? Why we are saying that the sun rays and concentrated on a small areas than poles. The poles, they are bigger part, but the equator, it is only a small part of which the sun, it is directed in large volumes. So this is further stipulated here. We can see that the sun, over this, it is hitting the large volume of air here, and there's a large surface of which the sun rays, it is very direct. And then on the small area, there is a what? The sun rays, there is a small volume of air. So we are saying that the what? The sun is received directly. That is what? What is it also that is having the effect in terms of the temperature? We have said now altitude, and we are saying that altitude is the air temperature. It decreases with altitude. The higher you go, laying areas. The higher you go, the colder it becomes. It is proven by this. So you can see that the Kilimanjaro, one of the highest mountains, because of the increase in height is taking place. But what are we saying down here? It is very warm valleys. Because of the what? The temperature. It is very, very hot. We have to see that here we can be asked a question. This is an application on the topographic map. An application on the topographic map. Remember that we've got 2 types of the maps. So we are saying that at which of the location A, this is a statement, or B is on the map, and support your answer. All right. So this is the map. So this is point A here. So this is point A, and this is point B here. So the question is asking us in terms of the coordinates. So we can see that their benchmark and the height there, it is 1,028 meters. So we are trying to move that there's a gradient that is from this point to this point. So we can see that it is warmer at A and it is colder at B. Basically, we are given there. And how can we further prove that? We are saying that Here you must take note of the following on the map. A is located in the valley with a benchmark height of 2278. And here, this is the benchmark that we are talking about. And B is located on the mountains. And the contour is 8.7. This is this height. So it will be therefore warmer at A. It will be therefore colder at B. There is warmer at A and there is colder at B. There is an increase in height from A to B. So there's A and then there is a B. So we are saying that there is an increase in height. All right. So when we are moving on, we go again in 2.2.3, where we are talking about ocean currents. These are ocean currents. And what are these? The ocean currents are lower waters and the air temperatures. Warm ocean currents, they rise water and air temperatures. The east coast has higher temperature, and this is the west. That is why in Western Cape, you find these ocean currents. Okay? And then we are having in 2.2.4, we are talking about the distance from the ocean. It is having now some other effect on the temperature. The distance now from the ocean. And we are saying that the oceans, they heat up and cool down more slowly than land, are colder than the island areas during the day. And lastly, the coastal areas are warmer than inland areas are. So assumingly there is a radiation in terms of the sun hitting the what? The surface of the earth, where there is density in terms of the steepness and where there is the ocean. So what is happening? When this sun incoming solar radiation, can you see? It is heating up the surfaces, heating up this surface. So you can see basically, because of the steepness here at this area, where it's hitting here, what is going to happen? The heat will only penetrate a thin layer and there will be less sun needed, a heat in the sun because of the what? The affected underground water. But the incoming solar radiation, it will penetrate here into the deep into the ocean. There will be more sunlight needed to heat the ocean. Therefore, there will be evaporation that will happen as the ocean currents circulate. There will be evaporation and the heat will be all right. And then when we are moving on, we are in 2.3. We are talking about the greenhouse effect. And then we need to understand now the greenhouse effect. But before we can discuss it further, we need to understand what is the greenhouse effect. So in the examination, they can say define the term greenhouse effect. So we are going to say this is the process by which certain gases in the radiation and return some of the radiation back to the earth. This increases the air temperature of the atmosphere. That is 2 months. All right. So you can see that this is stipulated in terms of a polar system. The solar, which is the sun, will have an effect here. It will heat the sun. And some of the heat is going to escape going into the spaces. Heat will be in the atmosphere and the greenhouse effect will be conducted. All right. And then how it is having an impact now on people. And again, that is a negative impact that it has on people. Number one, the land is reduced. Number two, which leads people homeless because of these distractions that is going to take place. And therefore, if there is distractions, there will be food security, and then the diseases such as malaria, they will dominate. And then we are having the impact on the environment. What can be the impact? Number one is flooding. Number two, the rise in salt levels. Number three, beach erosion. Number four, acid rain. Number five, and then if ever we are moving on again, we must understand that we can be asked the question, what are the greenhouse gases? Nitrous oxide, number three, methane, number four, water vapor, and then number five, the CFS. Those are the concepts that we can understand, and that it can be for a continuous now of 5 marks. Right? And if we are moving on again, we need to understand now we talk about the global warming. Remember that we've been talking about global warming, and then also today we are talking about global warming. And what is a global warming? And remember that you can be term global warming. And then here we are going to say this is an increase in the average temperatures of the Earth atmosphere. That is for 2 marks. Then number 2 can be asked to say list the causes of the global warming. Number 1, in the global warming, such as smoking and burning fuels. Number 2, more fuels that is burned, they lead to global warming. And then number 3, the deforestation, it is having some negative impact on the global warming. Right. And then we can be asked to say what strategies can be implemented to regulate this global warming, regulate the emission of the greenhouse gases. Number 2, the solar or the wind power. Number 3, suitable or sustainable transport development system. Number 4, use energy efficiently. And then number 5, the regular discussions and the strategies, they must have the plan. And if we are moving on again, we can be asked again, what are the consequences, the repercussions of the consequences of the global warming? Number 1, it is that the melting of the snows and ice, they take place. Number 2, rising of the sea levels. Number 3, extreme weather conditions. Number 4, the floods, they take place over areas. Number 5, there is a desertification. Number 6, there is a climate change. And then that can be for 5 marks. If we are moving on again, we are saying that what is the impact on South Africans' climate change? And then we can see that there is expanding deserts. Number 3, drought and famine. Number 4, higher temperatures. And number 5, food security is threatened. So this is such a big topic. And then we need to ensure that as the country, as the people, activities, or we abstain from the activities which may lead to the global warming, because of it is not only the population that is going to live here. All right. And then if ever we are moving on again, we are talking about the moisture in the atmosphere. Now remember that we are saying that the atmosphere also consists out of moisture, which is created by the continuous heat that is covered. And define the concept of evaporation. This is the process whereby water is converted to gas to point temperature. And then we are saying the temperature at which the condensation of the water vapor takes place. And then number 3, we've got the condensation. And then we send changes to the droplets. And then number 4, we talk about the precipitation and the air to the ground. And then the other one, we've got the humidity. And then we are having the relative humidity. We are saying that this is the amount of water in the air compared to how much, again, the other one, which is the definition of cloud. And then we are saying this is the minute water droplets and the ice crystals floating in the atmosphere. There's no way that you can understand the full noun chapter without taking care of the concept. So you need to sit down, you need to learn, you need to understand these concepts. All right. And then if we are moving on of clouds now, and you can see that in the whitish, I have now given you what do they look like. All right. And then we can see that the type of cloud, one of the low clouds that they happen under the low in terms of the millimeter. Number 1, we are having this cloud, and then they are over 2,000. And then we are saying that the thunderstorms are happening, and then we've got the cumulum there, and these are cumulus clouds that are, they can see that they look like nimbostratus cloud, a thick dark gray layer. Then in the middle, stratus cloud, and then I've labeled it at 2 there, and then we are saying cloud, how late, and then we are having now a say, and then we've got the cirrus cloud, and then we can see that under the cirrus cloud, white, fair weather before the cold are the different types of clouds. All right, that we can talk about the types of rainfall. We've got variety, and we've got different types of rainfall. And one of the rainfall that we can take a look at, it is the relief or the orographic rainfall. And what is happening here, you can see that this is the sea level, and there is a directed areas. And then the air decides on the part here, condenses to form the of the rain. It's dry and it is cold. And then when we are moving on again, we talk of the convection. With a heating here, the air it condenses, forming the clouds. The rain, it cools. They are associated with thunderstorms. And then lastly, they occur during summer in the interiors. They are experiencing the rain. And then lastly, we are having now what we call the cyclonic. You can see that the warm this is mid, they are called the cooling cloud form. It occurs in the Western Cape during the winter. So that is why they winter. All right. And here we can see that we must be able to read and interpret the cyclonic weather map station of the temporal world. That is why we can see time and again we can determine that a certain place it will rain due to the what? To the features on the cyclonic weather map station. And what we need to understand, these they represent the wind speed. These are the long knots. And this one 20 plus 5 is 20. Under this, we are having the precedent here cover is them. All right. So these are the signs or which I've written the key. So once the of cover for to the cloud, and then we've got number one here, these isobars. We've got ISO called isobar. Where you see that we've got the Elin, which is the tropical cyclone. How many tropical cyclones have occurred there? Is A, B, C, D. Can you see it by in particular? A blue coastal stands in the front for that it is a description in the membership card. Thank you very much for your time.